I am in the car because I'm waiting for the car to heat up, and I have some thoughts about yesterday. Yesterday I had, wow, such energy shifting, inspiration, life changing stuff happen after I made a post in a Facebook group that was not my own and got such crazy responses. I mean, I posted about the cultural male bias in our society, the infrastructure of our society, and the way, and the topic at one point became the way I expressed myself. That I needed to change my voice because it would be offensive because I sounded angry. And then some people made the assumption that because I sounded angry, I was an angry person and I had issues I had to work out. This is one post in one group. Not one of those people, women, it was women. It wasn't just even people, it was women. It's a women's group. Not one of those women who afforded themselves the leeway to make a huge judgment about my personage, my emotional status, my well-being, my knowledge and spiritual intellect. Not one of them looked at my profile or went to my website and read through my blog. They just took it upon themselves to teach me, or as another woman in the post said, to school me on anger and the expression of it. And again, that wasn't the topic, but it became the topic for a while. And what I love about women's power, when it's in the self-actualized phase, not the pathological phase, what I love about that is they can stick to a disagreement even when it's uncomfortable and come out the other side better for it. And that totally occurred with one woman who came at me really hard with her judgments. Didn't understand, but she couldn't see how she was judging me. She was doing to me what she said I was doing to the example I posted in the cultural bias post, to give it a specific face. I was not attacking that person, that example. I was just, here's a prime example of what's happening in our community, our society. And then it was totally enlightening. It was extremely enlightening, and I adored it. But what I found interesting out of it, what I got out of it, was this bias that is so ingrained, this training, because it goes beyond the bias. Bias is just part of the training that we have had as women, and that training occurs in every culture. It's not just the United States or the Western world versus the Eastern world. It's not that every culture has its own training of women specifically. It's by and large to be quiet, to be small, to be subservient, to follow the rules. Whereas, and this is not to bash men, talking about feminine empowerment and rising is not male bashing. It is the energy we need to raise the feminine up to be as honored and valued as the masculine has been. And sometimes we get angry or impassioned. And impassioned isn't the same thing as anger, even if you're not even if you're speaking against something. Impassioned is not necessarily angry. Am I angry that this exists? Of course I am. Of course I am, because my life and everyone else's life, I believe, would be so much better if we could just realize the inequity that has existed. And then that's not just a masculine feminine thing. is it? It's a racial thing. It's a socioeconomic thing. Just if we could all get to that point, but we can't get to that point by just wishing it. We have to look at what it is we don't want so that we can then turn to the solution that we do want. And anger is usually the instigator of that. Now, if I lived in anger, that'd be a different thing, but the expression of anger is not a bad thing. But women have been shamed, and that's how I felt in that post. I felt like I was feeling shamed. Like, oh, you can be angry, but you can't show you're angry. Just come back here and talk about how you were angry. What the fuck is that? Really? Like, is this not a group where, like, I could sit around with my girlfriends and pop off, blow off some steam so that I can clear that away and come down to the solution that I'm going to take out into the world? Why do we as women feel like we're going to continue the masculine trait of censoring each other? Oh, no, you have to show up as the goddess. And the goddess is like Mother Mary, calm and quiet and meek and not glorifying yourself. Bullshit. That's one aspect of feminine. Another aspect of feminine is Callie, coming in hard, big, stomping out what doesn't work. Kick that ego that's not working and raise up the glory and the honor of what does. We can't get there by being meek little fish, and it's time to stop thinking that the penis is a wisdom stick, because it's not. It's not. But in our societies, that male has been set up as the authority. And until and unless we get angry enough to move from the anger to the solution, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, because we're not going to see the underlying thing. Oh, yes, men can be part of women's healing. Absolutely. Absolutely. But why are women not the authority on that subject? Why is it that men get notoriety and women get accolades? That you can't fix the disparages unless you see them first. That's like trying to fix a carburetor in the dark. It's just not gonna work, right? Okay, shut up. There are carburetors still somewhere around. Don't laugh at me. Yeah, anger is not a bad thing, but more than that, we have to get comfortable with it. Because until we're comfortable with it, we can't use it. We can't use it as the tool that it's meant to be. So now my car is warm, and I'm gonna go hit the grocery store on this rainy New Year's Eve, and I am just really excited now for the coming year, because I have some amazing things were born out of that experience of sharing that post and getting the responses I got. Not just the negative ones, but the supportive ones too. And a new collaboration is coming forth on top of the one I was already talking about with the Healing Center. So look out. Look out. I have joy to do. And me and my light team are on our way to making a big difference. One soul at a time. Thanks.